Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to our English class. We started this story, The Rightful Inheritors of the Earth, and completed a few paragraphs in it. Do you remember this story? Let me give you the major events that we discussed in the last class. Bashir becomes the owner of a tiny little piece of earth. The birds and butterflies entered the plot without author's permission, so the author called them as trespassers. The author describes cobra as a first creature without paws or wings. The cobra stood before the author dignified, majestic, and its hood spread out. These were the major things that we discussed in the last class. Are you ready to read the rest of the story? Let's read and comprehend this story. My wife said, "The jackfruit has ripened. Squirrels and crows are feasting on it. The guavas and mangoes, birds and bats are eating up everything. But that's the beauty of it," I replied. God has created variety of things in this universe. Fruits, edible roots, grass, grain, flowers, water, air, warmth and light. Now, while we are the owners of this land, without a doubt, the birds, beasts, reptiles, and insects too have a right to these things, just as we have. God has made them for all the creatures, and we had better remember that occasionally. Are you saying rats have a right as well? My wife asked. They don't seem to think we humans have any. They go about as though earth belongs to them, she said. So we go around killing them. How sad that we kill rats to let our own life undisturbed. What we need is a new scientific way of living, a new way that helps us to live without killing any living creature. Anyway, I had no taste for killing rats or anything else. While that was so, however, I had to do something soon about our coconuts. We needed them. They formed a part of our daily food. But what could I do? I wondered. While I was still wondering, my wife decided to take things into her own hands one day. She went shopping for 2 hours and bought in many things. One was a large tin of rat poison. The poison was mixed with the bananas, rice, tapioca, and left everywhere in the compound. In 4 days, 5 hens, 12 squirrels, 200 rats, and a cat disappeared. But the tender coconut went on falling. Everyone now accused the owls. They pecked at the tender coconuts. A few months later, however, the real culprits were found out, the bats. After dusk, huge bats came in swarms and flew straight to the palms where the tender coconuts hung. Clinging to the outer coverings of the coconuts, they gnawed into them from the softest side at the top. When they had cut through the kernel within, they sucked out the sweet, nourishing water stored inside and flew away satisfied. "Let's buy a gun," said my wife. "We can shoot the bats, the foxes, and the polecats with it." "Not me, not me," I said. "Guns should never have been invented." But alas, a few days later, my wife's cousin turned up with a grim looking gun. He said, "Nearly 3,000 coconuts are destroyed every day. These bats are the pets. But there is no point in shooting bats down at this spot. On a little islet nearby stands an old temple. Next to it grow a pair of banyan trees, and you can see at least 3,000 bats hanging on the twigs of the banyan trees. I'm going to kill them all." I prayed fervently. "Oh, bats, bats, save your lives." It was astonishing. It was a miracle. The bats were saved. My wife and her cousin came back in about 2 hours' time looking really scared. My wife said, we just managed to escape narrowly. There are some houses around the temple. When we arrived at the place, 100 people with weapons surrounded us within minutes. They looked menacing. If we shot at the bats, they said they would kill us. Do you know why? They believe that bats are the souls of their ancestors. I took a decision then. I said firmly, bats are no ancestors of ours, but they are among God's countless creations. Let the coconuts be destroyed. That doesn't matter. Let us be satisfied with what is left after they have taken their share. They certainly have a right to the coconuts. All living beings are the rightful inheritors of the earth. Have you finished reading? Do you understand what the author tell to us? Okay. Let me ask you a few questions and you must try to answer it. And that question will help you to comprehend the text very easily. Here comes the first question. Why did God create a variety of things in this universe? Why did God create variety of things in this universe? Yes. God has created variety of things in this universe for all the creatures. And the second question. Why did the author think of a scientific way of living? Why did the author think of a scientific way of living? Yes. The author believed that the earth belongs to all the creatures. It is harm to kill them. So he needed a new scientific way of living that helps to live without killing any living creatures. Here comes the next question. Who were destroying the coconuts? Who were destroying the coconuts? Was it rats? No. The bats were destroying the coconuts. Next question. The gun is a symbol of cruelty. What does the author say about guns? What does Waika Muhammad Bashir say about guns? Yes. The author says that the gun is a symbol of cruelty. Guns have the power to destroy others. He finds that it should never have been invented. And next question. Where were the bats found in larger numbers? Where were the bats found in large numbers? Yes, you are right. Next to an old temple, there were two banyan trees. The bats were hanging on the twigs of the banyan trees. And my last question. Why did the people not allow them to kill the bats? Why did the people who lives nearby the temple not allow them to kill the bats? Yes, the people believed that bats were the souls of their ancestors. So they didn't allow to kill the bats. Bashir's wife and the cousin couldn't kill the bats because the villagers, the people who live nearby the temple, didn't allow them to kill the bats because they believe the bats are their ancestors, the soul of their ancestors. And have you all answered my questions correctly? Didn't that questions help you to comprehend the passage? Yes, very much. The author conveys the message that God has created variety of things in the universe for all creatures. But we human beings consider everything in this universe as his personal property. The author propagated the idea that all the creatures have equal right for everything in the universe. He wanted to live without killing any creature. The Bashir wanted to live without killing any creature, and so he advocates for a new scientific way of living. In that scientific way of living, there is no possibility of killing any creatures. This is all about in this video. I'll be back with another video lesson. Until then, bye.